G'day and welcome to the Inforunners. I'm Execute, joined by Loken Plays and Agrid. How you guys doing today?
Yep, not doing too badly. Looking forward to taking a look at the Corsair.
Yep, we just got off the back of our buyer's guide for, no, sorry, not buyer's guide, Aegis Dynamics AIE video, so we thought we'd do a buyer's guide as well. Yeah, Drake Corsair. I've seen a lot of people flying this around. I've seen Burks. I've asked a lot of questions in streams. So Moist flying it. I've seen Pisspoor Pete flying it. I even caught Mr. Origin fanboy himself, Joe Run, checking it out as well. So there's been quite a few people very eager for this one. Montoya did a video on it as well. For me, it is very unique. I like the asymmetry. What's your? That's my initial impressions. Kind of Agrid, what's your initial impressions? Just you know, one paragraph type of thing.
I like the asymmetry. I like the sound that the new Drake ships make as the doors open.
Okay.
They sound Drake. They sound crunchy.
And Loken, your kind of initial impressions?
I like how tactile it is. I like the fact that things are levers and buttons, not touch screens and, you know, swipes. And, you know, the asymmetry for me, I've never been a massive fan of asymmetry. I respect it for what it is. Not a huge fan of it, though, to be honest.
Okay. It's well, each kind of, you know, for their own. For me, a big draw to a lot of the Drake ships for me has been the asymmetry. So, yeah. This is going to be the thing that I think makes or break this ship. We might as well just, you know, get the, what do you call it? Let the cat out of the bag from the get-go. It's the guns. This thing, a lot of people are scared about the power of the guns. And I did hear someone make a really valid point. Now, I think if they do nerf this, it'll only be for that fighter meta. And if they do not nerf it, then they kind of need to unnerf the Redeemer for the same reasons. But eventually they will unnerf everything, because what are they going to do eventually when all the other bigger ships come out and they have bigger guns? It's just, at some point, they're going to have to stop and move away. I think we probably need a few more bigger ships, though, first. But I don't know.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that, Logan? You stream more than me and Algrid. You see that type of content. So what's your take on it?
So using the ship right now, and having flown it for a little while, obviously it has overwhelming forward firepower. All of its arcs of forward firepower are incredible, and you can get all turrets and all guns firing forward. So I say forward very specifically because its side arcs and rear arcs are very, very compromised.
Agreed.
And it has a massive trouble with anything that will come up from its rear. It'll have a pair of Badger repeaters, and that's about it on the back of it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Agro, do you agree with that? That's its real big weak point, and you just can't let anything behind it, really.
But if anything gets behind you, you are toast.
Yeah.
Because the Badger repeaters or a back rear bottom, you know. So.
I think my one big negative, and this is like the only, it's a trivial negative, right? I just don't know how flat this back thing is. I just find it really barren. And it's such a minor gripe, and it sounds like I'm being very pedantic, but I would have loved like a little window or something here. But you know,
yeah, no, I can see that.
Minor gripe. It's just so flat. It's really weird to me. It just ends. Like it doesn't have any feeling. It's like, it literally feels like someone just chopped the end, like it had a tail, like it was a beautiful butterfly, and someone just chopped it off. It's really weird to me. Yeah. All right.
My other minor gripe on the external part is the fact the landing gear is quite low. It makes it really difficult to land on tough terrain.
That is a really good point. Yeah. I actually do agree with you. This thing is a low rider. They need a low rider skin for it, because it feels like, because actually I'll show you the other elevator. When you bring the other elevator down, sometimes it actually goes through the terrain. Just to totally prove your point there, Loken, if I can get it to come down. So yeah, just that little corner there. Look, it actually literally goes into the ground. Yeah. So, to me, yeah, needs a bit of work. I'll put this back up real quick because we'll probably come down and out that one. Love the little switches on that, by the way.
Yeah, I love those levers. They're so good.
Levers.
Yeah. So, another little gripe that shows it's very low to the ground is this VTOL. In the wind, if you land on a windy planet, it'll literally literally hit the ground with that VTOL. To keep itself from flipping over. It's kind of strange. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the lowness does give it an advantage in terms of on windy planets, because it doesn't get flipped. But that is a problem that lowness is a problem for a ship that is an explorer.
Yeah. So this is another kind of weakness, I guess, of the ship. Slightly smaller cargo bay. I think you and I were talking about this, Algrid, and is it's kind of got that bit in the Corsair kind of chopped off, you know, like where it goes above the rack. I don't know. How do you explain that, Algrid? I'll let you explain it for yourself.
Against the Connie.
You know how we were saying like this got 72 SCU of cargo, and the Corsair's got 96, and it's the same thing because of where the rover goes, but the rover just goes that much higher because the Connie's got more space in it. Yeah. But this just doesn't have the height.
This has 72. The base Connie has 96. But this is basically your Phoenix hangar.
Yeah.
Which can take the Ursa, and the Phoenix is supposed to have about, I think it was originally 72 or 76 SC of cargo, which is basically what this has. And I have a bet if you were to do the measurements of the internals of this garage hangar, it'd be exactly the same as the Phoenix's, especially if you can get the Ursa in there and actually open the door without it clipping through the sides.
So real quick, Loken, me and Algrid both have a issue with the MSR's stairs, and I much prefer these ones. I don't know if you have the same issue with the elevator and the MSR, because you know you can just kind of jump up, and it's just so short it should be stairs.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think the elevator there is it was nice on paper, but in practice just makes movement really difficult. It snarls things up, and I don't agree with it being there. So the stairs are nice. I like the stairs.
As Execute pointed out to me, the MSR's elevator really just puts the whole MSR on stilts so you can get the crawlways.
Yeah.
And at the moment, they're absolutely useless. So anyway, we're not talking MSR. We're talking reclaim. Corsair.
It wouldn't be an Inforunners episode if we didn't get off tangent at some point. So the other thing I've noticed, couple things, is the doors are a lot better at kind of detecting you now. We're also seeing a lot more buttons and stuff on the switches. We're even seeing some components in here that we haven't seen before. I can't remember. The batteries, that was one. And there was life support here somewhere. Hang on real quick. Yeah, life support. So we're starting to see a few more components that we haven't seen before as well. Just that development of the pipeline maturing, which is really good.
And the internals of the ships,
Oops, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, some of these doors you've actually got to open manually as well. So yeah, got an airlock, nice little couple of suit compartments in here, and weapons as well. Haven't quite sussed out what these are yet. If that's weapons racks, are these tool racks?
I thought it might be. I thought they might be for heavy weapons, but it could be a tool rack.
You could be right there too. We'll learn on time, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so more mysteries to be revealed. Yeah, so we've also got the lights here as well. I'll try and open up one of these cabins. Nope. No, we're not. Oh, yes, I will. They've all got little storages underneath.
Yeah, that's a nice touch, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone's got their own little... I believe this is a clothing locker, not a suit locker. So like I should say, not a jumpsuit locker. It's more like civilian clothing locker. So yeah.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. Mess hall here, pretty simple, pretty standard for Drake. I think it really lines up with
that's luxury for Drake.
Well, I was gonna say it lines up with a Caterpillar though. Yeah, Agrid. You'd say that's on par with the Caterpillar one, yeah.
I would probably say it's better than a Caterpillar.
I'd say it's better than the Caterpillar. Long shot. It's a lot better.
Really?
Designed. Yeah, I'd say it's definitely better than the Caterpillars. Caterpillar looks like it's been like beaten up and is ancient and old. This one actually looks new and like, you know.
I just meant it's a table with the screens above it because that's exactly what's in the
If you think it's not luxury for Drake, you're nuts.
Okay.
For the dining area, your kitchen area, your actual food preparation area.
Oh yeah, this, the table though. No, all right.
Yeah,
so I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that.
The kitchen, and you said this is.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I meant the table. I was standing here looking at the table. Right. Okay. We're on the same page now. Go around the same page. We've got the toilet here. I think this is definitely a step up from the Caterpillar's toilet. So we can get the light on. It is very manual though, like Drake. So it's very minimalistic, which is not too bad. Actually, I think the Cutter one's actually even more manual than this. But yeah. So yeah. Didn't mean to actually sit down there.
Absolute luxury. Bathroom with a closing door.
Yeah, you can literally sit there and talk to your friends while their food. Delightful health and safety from Drake. Yeah. We've also got that elevator we're talking about. We'll come back and check this out in a second. I do actually like these turrets. When you actually get into them, I don't know if it'll do it while I'm on the ground, but it actually airlocks the... Listen. It airlocks the doors. Did you hear that? They both closed and locked. So it's actually airlocked and sealed. There is a weird bug at the moment with this left side turret. I do hope they'll fix it. You can't fully face forward until you target lock something, right? But as soon as as soon as you target lock it, you can aim forward, and it's only on the left one where the right one doesn't have that at all. So that clearly tells me it's a bug.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah,
a bug. We'll take another look when we get outside. But the main reason I got in was just to show that airlock stuff. So yeah. Yeah. And then we've got the cockpit. Captain's quarters, pretty much identical as the crew quarters, so I won't really go into much there. It's pretty much exactly the same. This does have a unique feature down here. I was hoping it would be control the guns so it can kind of shoot a bit more left and a little bit more right. But what it actually does is it actually controls this turret on the back at the rear that you can see there between the wings. And then also it can fire the missiles. So you guys tell me about that. What's your kind of thoughts with the way the co-pilot works at the moment? And do you think in the future they'll make it so it can maybe control a bit more of the guns?
I think it's a very strange choice. You know, I was expecting the rear turret to be a remote operated station inside the cockpit, and I expected the lower two guns on the front of the ship to be remote operated by the co-pilot, so you could split the fire. So the you know the pilot still has 4 guns, the 2 on the wings and the 2 on the front of the ship, and the 2 lower ones could fire on a different target. That would have made more sense to me.
Yeah,
I kind of expected the lower guns to be co-pilot controlled on a swivel or a turret type arrangement.
Yeah, I hope they kind of give you the option eventually to kind of do what you want, you know, so the co-pilot can fire everything or nothing like it is now. But yeah, just a bit of flexibility, you know what I mean? So yeah. One thing I would also like to say to CIG is, can you have it so when we're about to take off that all the, like, it's like that when it's off, but when you turn it on for some reason all the VTOL goes up. You should be having it go down because we're about to take off. And you've got some other intelligent choices in there as well, like you know, so at the moment when I want to put the landing gear up, it only ever puts the landing gear up. I'll just show you this real quick. And then when I put the wings down, I've got to go Alt K to put the wings down. But here's the really cool intelligent thing. When I undo all this, if I just press N to land, it does all of it. It folds up the wings and it does the landing gear. So it's really kind of intuitive in that regard. One last intuitive thing while I'm thinking of it as well, I didn't mean to do that, sorry, is they've also got automatic lights on this thing now as well. So if you turn the exterior lights on, you can also then set it to auto. And so what that means is at nighttime, it'll automatically turn the lights on, and at daytime, it'll automatically turn them off. That's
a bloody lovely feature.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was there, and that's awesome.
The other thing I really do like about this is the spotlights on the tail. So
so there is some lights back here. Just kind of where these little red ones are flickering at the top there, not the bottom ones, the top ones. They actually do have similar lights to what's this underlighting that, well, people have been calling this landing lighting. But yeah, Agrid is right. When you put the ramp down, I'll try and show that if we've got time. But yeah, she's quite maneuverable to me. She flies for me, and I'll ask you guys your opinion as well. I think she's somewhere between an MSR and a Connie. And if someone asked me what the ship was, I would say it's like halfway between a Connie and a Redeemer. How would you guys sum that up?
Its flight characteristics right now are, I definitely say, between MSR and a Connie. That's actually a problem for me, because that's how powerful it is and how many guns it's got and the kind of load it can get. It feels like it flies a little too nicely at the moment. I'm expecting it to be dialed back a notch. But yeah, I mean, role-wise, I think that, you know, the ones stated it being sort of like between a Redeemer and whatnot is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate, but it's a lovely ship to fly.
Agrid, your thoughts?
I think that they need to dial it so it flies worse than a Connie, just because in their design docs that was one of the things they said. It's got better weapons, but it flies worse than a Connie, and it's got less armor than a Connie. in terms of the Aquila. So
do you think it could have been a subject to change though?
everything's subject to change.
Yeah.
So for me, I'll let them do what they want to do with it at the end of the day. But there is some interesting things about like how it flies in atmosphere. The one thing I haven't tested is I want to rip off all the wings, and I want to fly it in atmosphere because I think that'll be its inherent weakness. Because it's got some Sorry, go ahead.
Do you find it likes to nose heavy a bit when it's in atmosphere?
That's a very.
That was what I was finding.
Isn't that all drakes though? They all kind of have that.
I don't know. I felt the Cutlass is fairly okay with it. I mean, I don't fly too many Drake ships, so it might just be my memory. But I just find its nose tries to dip down all the time. It's a little bit annoying.
So one other thing I noticed here.
Like
Another thing I noticed was they've re-upped the visual effects on the thrusters. But this was yesterday, so maybe they fixed it. But let's have a look. No, they haven't. Right. So when you boost, notice how they all change to the same flare. Yes. So that top one that's really wide actually gets a smaller one on it, and then the two on the bottom actually get bigger, but the one on the top actually gets smaller. So they obviously still haven't finished the effects on it. Is what I'm trying to allude to there.
Look very nice.
Really unique gunfire pattern. Obviously, if you're firing all at the same time, I'm interested to see how, especially these ones on the side, is going to affect combat. Like having that asymmetrical gunfire. I think the only other ship we can really lean that to is the Caterpillar. Would you kind of agree with that one?
On the Cats, because half the guns are on the actual cab unit rather than the main body. But
yeah.
Yeah,
there's not many that have that that fire arc. Do you think that'll have an interesting payoff down the line, Loken, or no? Don't know.
I think it's pretty negligible right now, if I'm honest. We'll see. A lot of these are going to be, we'll see in time. We'll see when players are using them and they're fighting with them more competitively, whether or not that actually makes a difference. For now, though, my honest opinion is I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yep.
Yep.
I want to get in the sunlight real quick because one other thing I want to show off is this is one of the first ships that have all the little antennae and stuff on it as well.
Yeah.
Which is, again, a maturing of that pipeline. And yeah, I think we're eventually going to see them go back and do this on some of the other ships. And of course, I warped into darkness like I do. So yeah, is there anything else that you? Sorry, Agrid?
Go on.
No, I was just going to say.
I was going to say, certainly ships like the Carrack they'll go back and rework all the greebles and antenna and things like that.
Yep.
So
what I was going to ask, is there anything else you guys would like me to show off while I'm in-game that you think people would like to see in regards to the Corsair?
I think it's worth showing off that elevator because you can go onto the roof of the ship and it has gravity as well, so you can stand on it, which is quite fun.
True.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so there's that antenna that I wanted to kind of point out to you guys real quick. Yep, let's go have a look at the antenna, and I will try to get out of the ship without killing myself. Right. Oh, the other one quick thing. That MFD on the ground actually works when you're in the ship.
Oh my god!
You can actually reach out down to it and press it. It's hilarious. It was the very first thing I tried when I noticed it. I was like, oh, hang on. Oh, works.
My concern with some of these automatic doors that they've got, they don't have the warnings like the Cutter has.
The day when I came up here, this elevator did not have gravity, and then the next day it did, so I do think they've fixed it. But I had people... I was putting it to people in chat and stuff, what would it actually be for? And someone actually came up with a really good idea, is it's deboarding. So I thought, maybe you can go up on top and sniper people or whatever, or why would you want to go up on top? Not to just explore the exterior ship, but if you're actually boarding someone else, say I'm coming back off the ship I boarded, the Corsair then flies along underneath, and you can literally like land on top like it's a big platform, and that means if you're in atmosphere, you could technically land on the roof. That kind of landing on the top of a train analogy. Yeah, and then
doing a Luke Skywalker from Cloud City type.
Exactly.
Thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. All right. I think that's kind of about it. Unless you guys have got anything else you want to kind of show off before we. No, is that it? And I guess I guess also your final recommendation. Do you guys actually recommend this for people to purchase, or is it a pass for you guys?
So I mean, for me personally, I mean, it's a 225 war bonds, 250 as you know, a standalone. Yep. I think it's a good ship. I think it's got a lot of firepower. It's a lot of fun. I would recommend it. To be honest, it's for a very fun experience for multi-crew with a little bit of a pirate twist. So it's a cool ship. It'll be interesting to see how she develops. That's the only thing. I'll be interested to see how she develops.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to find for me. It's like, where does it sit with the MSR and Connie and I guess the Caterpillar's a little bit in there, but the Caterpillar's going a little bit more towards the Hercules now in that cargo role, and we have to see how the Caterpillar's kind of just pushed out of the price range now. But it still for me is a daily driver, but just it's more like with those modules. It's a bit more. It's the industrial Drake, where this is the combat Drake.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So, Algrid, your thoughts? Does that kind of line up with what we're saying, or do you have another take on it?
It goes against the usual rule. So we'd usually say if it's under 250 or 250 or under, it's buying game.
Yeah.
But I think this is one of those ones that goes against that. It's multi-crew. It does have nice weapons. So it gives you that. My only beef with the weapons is the fact that the pilot's got most of the firepower, and I'd like to see. And I say this for the Connie as well and other ships, that it'd be nice to see those multi-crew ships give the crew more things to do or give them more relevance.
It does have some interesting things, though, like the turret, because the turret gunner, the co-pilot can actually fire missiles completely backwards in that thing, which is awesome. So you know how you were talking about your weak point, Loken? That's the other thing to add to that is you do have missiles are just not in the best place right now, so it's kind of like, does it really matter?
Yeah,
but eventually,
in the future, that's a huge thing. Yeah.
Eventually, it could be absolutely massive. You know, they got that whole wing of missiles that they can fire off, and so it'd be really interesting. For me, it's a really interesting ship coming into the game right now with soft death, and I could tell when I did the piracy episode with Moist and Agent, they were both really keen for it. It's definitely the counterpoint to the Connie, where the Connie's got the Merlin and a little bit less guns. But I think that could be a really interesting fight. If you can get that Merlin on the back of it, interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
But at the moment, the 6 seconds to kill a hammerhead with ballistics is a bit strong. So, yeah.
But then the ability to change those missile pods to, size 4, 8 size 1 missiles. Is that's a 32 size 1 missiles, and that's plenty enough to take out a P-52.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, you're right on the money there too. So yeah, it's an interesting thing, giving up the cargo to get the guns. But yeah, you've also got to look at the MSR, which it kind of lost a lot of the guns or lost a lot of the armor and stuff like that. But it's got the speed. And it's also got data running. So now you've got these multiple choices. And I think the one thing we keep talking about here a lot is player choice, right? So you've now got choices. Yeah. So, and I think that's the important thing. So you can pick the choice of ship that means the most to you. And that's the takeaway for me. You've now got choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the things I really like about this is that choice. So if you've got a Connie, your missile loadout is size 1 or size 2, depending on the version you've got. Yeah. And you're stuck. You can't change those racks around. This one, yes, it comes with the size, the size 4 with racks with 2 size 3 missiles. But you can go. You could have one rack with 8 size 1s. You could have one rack with 4 size 2s. You get one rack with 2 size 3s, and you get a one rack with 1 size 4. There's so much variety you could do, and you could mix that combination up in any order you like. That is just so much variety and choice you've got just in the missile loadout. So yeah.
Just before we go, I'm going to run to the back and I'm going to show them those lights you were talking about, Agrid. But other than that, I think we're all kind of on the same page with this one. The ship team have done a really bang-up job. The style fits perfectly. I don't think there's anything visually wrong for me other than this back tail, but I guess there's only a certain number of ways you can do a back ramp. So yeah,
and the lowness of it in terms of landing on some planets, but
yeah, that's a big. Sorry, I keep forgetting that, but that is really a big one. They really do need to get onto that. Yeah, so not the best because I'm in full sunlight, but yeah, you can obviously see the 2 lights there now as well, which is just something different.
Great for vehicles coming on. And the other thing that I do like, even though it's sitting so low, the beauty of that means that the ramp is at a shallower angle, which means vehicles coming in are not going to have that glitch problem you get with the Starfarer or ships with a steeper angle. So.
Well, that'll be fixed again in time when they get the angle of the ramps working with the angle of the Earth below them. So yeah, but yeah, I think that somehow I got a feeling that somewhere along the line that they are going to increase this, because quite honestly, it did also affect the design of the ship, because if back in concept, those guns on the bottom were actually directly underneath. They were an actual. It was a turret. It's no longer a turret. It's literally fixed guns. So that's half the problem. Because it used to be actually a swivel, and it rotated. Doesn't do that anymore. So now they've got the problem of they've made all them face forward, plus they've also made these face forward. So it's just got so many guns.
Yep.
I don't know if there's a weakness to counter that, and if you nerf the crap out of it, people might get annoyed because you're already giving up a lot of the cargo. So I don't know. I don't
think you are giving up a lot of cargo in this. To be honest, you've got the same cargo as a Phoenix. You've got the same cargo I think the Aquila's going to end up having, because of that, So I don't think you're giving up cargo. The fact that you can put an Ursa in there, I think, says that.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, then I think that kind of wraps out our thoughts. If you want to go that extra mile, you can subscribe on the video, and also ring the notification bell. Also, remember that we've been getting a lot of reports of people not getting our videos, so make sure you set the notification bell to all if you do want to get all of them, because some people have been telling us to be missing quite a few. If you want to go the extra mile on Patreon, you can do that as well. Also, where can people find you, Loken, on the interwebs?
So I both do Twitch and YouTube. So on Twitch is twitch.tv/LokenPlays. I stream there 4 days a week, so it's Tuesday through Friday. And it's youtube.com/LokenPlays on YouTube, where I make Star Citizen videos.
Cool. And you're also at the moment doing a bit of Dark Tide and New World as well. And you've got drops for both of those too. So I've been watching to get my Dark Tide drops. So yeah.
Very much appreciated.
Be sure to check out Loken Plays. Also, you can go the extra mile by becoming a YouTube member, or follow us on Twitch and do whatever you do on Twitch to do that as well, because we are there as well.
And a small plug for Paul as well, because he's doing the same thing with the Dark Side drops as well. And he's on Astropub on Twitch. All right, with that then, he's been Loken Plays, he's been Agrid, I've been Execute. I'll catch you in the next one.
And we're out of here.
Take it easy.